Thank you for attending the Week of Kindness. Coming up next is another powerful, impactful, amazing speaker. Get your notepad out, get your pen. Let's get ready and enjoy.
And yeah, so without further ado, let's bring to the stage Bill Walsh. Bill Walsh, who is a venture capitalist, business coach, and was featured in Beyond the Secret, The Awakening. Guru Magazine said that he was one of the top 20 business coaches in the world.
If you're serious about being in business, if you're serious about developing your dreams and building the things that really mean something to you, you've got to get to some of these events.
He loves helping entrepreneurs and small business owners create even more success. The company he founded in 2005, Power Team International, specializes in business programs, speaking, training programs, and global masterminds. He has spoken on more than 30 countries and has given more than 5,000 presentations to well over 1 million people. You will love his message.
Look at all that great stuff. That's a very nice intro. Are we doing a Q&A today, or what's our plan here today? I thought it was an interview, but if it's not, let me know, and I'm glad to share some insight and some wisdom for anyone that's listening about how to launch, grow, and build a better business.
No, brother, you're keynoting. The microphone's yours.
Let's go then. Yeah, I was told it was an interview, but hey, listen, you know me, I don't care. So yeah, obviously, if you're listening today, first of all, I want to thank Eric. I want to thank Tony. I want to thank Dr. Lisa, all the folks that helped put together this week of kindness. And you know, I wish we had a year of kindness, not just a week of kindness, but it's a great place to start. And I would tell you that if you're listening today, you know, two of the most important words I'd like you to write down, and I want you to kind of live with this and think about this as you go through every day. The two words that I find are most important for entrepreneurs is I am. So if you'll write out those two words, just kind of have some fun with this with me, right? Is that as you're starting out anything new that you're going to plan to do, it really starts with you. It starts with you having a clear intention about what is possible. And if you start with these little simple two words, you're going to find that automatically you're going to see that whatever it is you're looking for, whatever it is you're shooting for, I'm going to tell you today that it's possible. I watch people that go out there and they blame everybody else as to why things don't work. They have excuses for everything. You know, it's the same thing that if you look at the word impossible, what does it really say? It says, I'm possible, or I am possible. But it's only if you're willing to change the way you look at it. Does it make sense? And I think so often we get stuck with the idea that we're going to go out and try to build a business and work on things, but not really put a plan to it, not put some marketing dollars behind it, not put some thought to it. And I watch entrepreneurs so often that with not all the talent, with not all the money, with not all the perfect things, they win and they win big. And I always ask myself, you know, if I look at entrepreneurs and I begin to think about what's the difference between champions and losers. And I'll tell you the difference. It starts with your belief system. Everything you're going to do when it comes to being an entrepreneur starts with your belief system that you're here to do great things. You know, my story is simple. Born and raised in the south side of Chicago, out of high school and college, became a trader. I did 10 years of turning companies around and fixing them. And I got to a certain point that I was burnt out. So if you can relate to being burnt out, then you know what I'm talking about, that it's not always easy. It's not always simple, but it's always possible. And I think once again that we get caught up in believing what somebody else says. We get caught up in believing that we're not good enough. And I know for a fact that if you're an entrepreneur listening today, I know you've had those thoughts. I know you've let people, you know, get into your mind. And I've watched people once again start listening to these negative voices, and they let the negative voices win. And that's what happens so often to entrepreneurs. If you think about it, right? When we finished and right around 2000, I wrote down there has to be more. I took a couple of years off and I teamed up as a marketing partner with GoDaddy, a channel partner with Franklin Covey. And of course, you know, everyone says, oh, you were lucky. We weren't lucky. You know, we put the time and effort into it. We put the capital behind it and we went to market. And I will tell you this, everybody, I've had plenty of failures. Please write this down. I've been broke and I've been wealthy, but I'll tell you what, when you're broke, your real friends always show up. You know, when you're wealthy and you're flying on private jets or yachts and cars and parties and all this stuff, everybody wants to be your buddy, right? But the reality of it, that's not always the case. There's many times when you're going to go through these challenges that things don't work out as you plan. Things aren't exactly perfect, right? So you've got to be ready for that and be ready today. When we launched the Rainmaker program back in 2005, the idea was that we'd meet with entrepreneurs. You could bring 4 people with you, meet 4 times a year, work on business growth, work on digital marketing, work on influencer partnerships, work on grants, work on writing your books, work on becoming better public speakers. But what we're really doing is we're looking for deals. You'd get the best training 4 times a year for you and 4 people, and we'd find partnerships on deals we could either put money in or put marketing behind. So always think different. Always think about your business as 8 moves ahead. See, we teach entrepreneurs that most entrepreneurs, they play a game called checkers. We teach them how to play a game called chess. Begin to look at your business 8 moves ahead. Begin to schedule everything a whole year out, 2 years out, 3 years out. What team do you need? What capital is required? How many clients you plan to serve? How big is the market? Is the market underserved? Do you make something better? Do you create something new? Look at the business like it's a business. When we bundled our course back then, $5,000 for 4 days, 4 times a year for you and 4 guests to learn all these things. And at the end of the day, you leave with a great network. You leave understanding how to launch, grow, and build an even better business. 2007, we launched a venture fund. 2008, masterminds. 2009, we launched the inspiration conferences, then our platinum speaker training programs. We put $1 million as a sponsor for this idea called the Small Business Expo. We went from 2 cities to nearly 100,000 attendees a year in less than 6 years. People once again said, oh, you were lucky. We weren't lucky. We put the work into it. People always say, oh, you're lucky. No. People that work the hardest, they tend to get the luckiest. Write down the name Gary Player. He said that in 1974. The people that work the hardest tend to get the luckiest. You think Eric and this whole team, all these guys and Dr. Lisa and Tony, you think they're all lucky? No, they're not lucky. They work hard at what they do. And yes, understand this. When you have some success, people will always take shots at you. Don't worry about it, right? Listen, man, let the haters be the fuel that drive you over the finish line. You're going to have haters. It comes with the if you're not, what Oprah said it best, man, if you ain't got no haters, you aren't doing very much. So don't worry about it. You know, people don't hate you. They hate the fact that you're doing what they should be doing and they know they could do it. They just won't put the effort behind it. Everybody wants to get in shape. Nobody wants to go to the gym. Same with success. Everybody wants to build that $1 million, $10 million, $100 million business, but they don't put the work into it that it takes to get there. I would tell you today that it's okay to go at your own pace. Now we're opening up success stores and ideas around digital coaching worldwide. And if I believe there's an Apple store, there should be an entrepreneur store where there can be live events. There can be digital coaching. We're looking for coaches and trainers and speakers and mentors. We still run 300 live events a year. We're now doing digital events 3-4 times a week. But I know for a fact that we haven't even scratched the surface. And that's why if you're a business owner, if you're an entrepreneur, I just want you to think bigger. I want you to realize that I am is really the statement of identity. And I would tell you that if you looked at a business today and began to really think this thing through, right? I would tell you that there are a few quadrants that you really need to learn about. And if you'll learn about these quadrants, I promise you're going to make a whole lot more money if you're open to the idea. And I know that you're open or you wouldn't be on this broadcast today. And then for those that are serious about it, you know, I'll give you guys a copy of my book, our newsletter, all for free. And if you want to learn about our courses and programs, you can go through the text message and get more of the details. That's fine. But I want to give you some good stuff you can use right now. So if you've got a business, you're thinking about launching a business, these are tools you can use right now. And I'm going to kind of just break down these quadrants for you quite quickly. And I think once you understand how important these are, they all kind of work together. And don't mind that my writing's not perfect because I was never really good at, you know, writing. I can type like crazy, but these are the quadrants. And you can actually just take a picture of the screen if you want. Let me see if I can get this to work a little better. Sometimes they disappear. There you go. So expert, empowered quadrant, exposure quadrant, execution quadrant, right? These 4 quadrants are really the drivers that I've found over years and years and years of working with I don't know, hundreds of thousands of entrepreneurs. And I want you to think this through, is that number one, get positioned as the expert. What I mean by that is pick a niche, get to the top 10. Mark Victor Hansen told me this 20 years ago, pick a niche, get to the top 10. All the money is in the top 10. So think about it in your craft, whatever you're great at, pick that niche, get to the top 10. And then how do you get positioned out there? Number one, go out there and get what I call, and I know you kind of heard this before, get an influencer site. There's a service called Mingle, mingl.no. Mine is /Bill Walsh 360, mingl.no/Bill Walsh 360. Create your own influencer page, upload your social media links, upload your PDF documents, build your databases so you can do text message globally, all for free. Once you finish that, get a book cover done. Go to Canva, Canva, canva.com, get a book cover done. Simple, once again, free to get a book cover done. Go to Facebook, create a community based on your area of expertise, and begin to invite people every day to your community. Have your friends invite people to the community. I don't care how big or small you are, the biggest unicorns in the world, they've all done one thing. They've built communities. Create, and I know it's easier now than ever, get your own podcast set up. Go to Anchor, it's free. It's owned by Spotify. Interview 2 great people a month. There'll be so many speakers on this week of kindness. Begin to write their names down, get their information, get connected with them. Get them to be on your broadcast. Record those broadcasts, put them inside your community, even create a blog post. Now, of course, you can use things like ChatWPT, right, where they can write content for you. Now they're going to charge you for it, but it's okay. The content is so great. But the idea from this is never stop producing good content. Never stop producing good content. Once you've done all this, get yourself listed on Haro. Help a reporter out for one category. The expert positioning is everything. I'm telling you that nobody wants to buy from someone that's average or okay. They want to buy from someone that's great at what they do. So write this down. I am great at what you do. Whatever it is you're great at, that's your niche. I can't cook it all. I'm not a life coach. I'm not a fitness coach. I'm not a relationship coach, but I'm a damn good business coach. This stuff I know inside and out because I live it every day. Every day we work on new ideas, new programs. How do we open Dubai? How do we do a better job in South America? How do we launch new programs in Vietnam? Because Vietnam is growing like crazy. How do we get more expansion plans in cities? How do we find more speakers and trainers and coaches? How do we empower more people to go out there and share the message? It's okay to be an entrepreneur. It's okay to be successful. It's okay to be super wealthy. See, if you don't believe that process from day one, you're never going to make it. You'll find reasons versus results. But in the expert category, build a better business plan. Begin to apply for grants. Begin to start thinking about, once again, how do I launch an even better business? What is required to win even bigger today? And this is where I want you to really take your thoughts and your beliefs and go to a whole different level. Because once you get the expert quadrant down, of course, the next quadrant, once again, is the empowered quadrant, right? And I know this map is kind of crazy here. The empowered quadrant means have the right tools, the right teams, the right systems. Make sure you've got a good board of advisors. You can find those in any city across America for free. Make sure that you put together a good business plan. Make sure you have a good sales process. Make sure you have good marketing strategy, which means create good content. If you got a book, share your book. If you're going to print stuff out, do stuff like this, right? Create really good messaging. Create, once again, things you can use to share. Don't discount your marketing. Get good printed cards up, like M13 Graphics will make nice cards for you. 4x6 cards, 3x8 cards, 8.5x11 cards, booklets, whatever it takes, have good collateral. Vistaprint makes good folders, 50 cents a piece. Invest in good collateral when you're talking to people. For online, learn to use good online tools. If you don't have a big Facebook following, start to get one. Don't have a good following on Instagram, start to produce good content. There's an app called InShot, INSHOT, $15 a year. Shoot those 1-minute videos, always have content, always have a call to action. Always have content, always have a call to action. Give away the free stuff. You're going to find the more stuff you give away for free that's actually real good content, easier it is to grow your brand, grow your business. Now, of course, when you've got this in place, right, then you got to use good systems. You have to have a really good way to get out there. If you're going to be on LinkedIn, use Linked Helper. If you're going to be on Instagram, use Reels. If you're going to be on Facebook, use Stories. Learn to use polyagonal marketing when you run your ads. Learn to run your ads through Eventbrite. Eventbrite is one of the best tools ever for producing digital content that runs 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They'll take all your orders. They'll do all your marketing. Your job's follow up and make the sales. But if you're not doing this stuff, I promise you this, your competitors are. If you're not using YouTube Shorts, YouTube's not going to slow down, everybody. Google's the biggest powerhouse marketing group in the world. You've just seen they're being charged for antitrust because nobody can touch them. They're just too good at what they do. But you've got to leverage it while it's great. Because while other people talk about it, you got to be the one that does it. You got to be the one that gets ahead of the curve. And I'm telling you, the fastest way to get ahead of the curve is use good technology, use good marketing. And then, of course, attract good teams. Learn to outsource. Learn to get people that can do some of the stuff that you're not so great at doing. Learn to realize as a business owner, you've got to build a good core team. Learn as a business owner, you've got to bring on influencers, partnerships. I didn't know Michael Jordan. I didn't know Mark Victor Hansen or Les Brown or John Gray or John Asseroff, right? But I learned to connect with people that played at a high level. And some of those folks became endorsers of our products. They got behind our stories and our messaging. And of course, it increased our sales dramatically. You see, if you're the only one that's out there telling your story, you're missing out on the best and fastest way to market. If Oprah says she likes your book sales go through the roof. But you got to be on the offense today. And I'll tell you the fast way to do that, show up for good social events. Pick one good social event per month where the people you want to meet are going to be at. Every month, put it in your calendar. Every rainmaker that comes through our programs, they've got to fill out what's called their success journal from day one, which means you plan the whole year in advance of family, faith, and fun. This is part of the execution tab, but I'll tell you this, it's non-negotiable for someone that wants to create even more success is either schedule your success or plan your failure. I would hope that starting today, you start to realize just how brilliant you are, just how awesome you are. Because once you understand the two words, I am, you're going to realize that anything and everything is possible if you put your mind to it. Now, of course, the third tab is called exposure. You got to understand that whoever gets the most exposure, they win, right? If you look at that bottom quadrant down there, as I get this in there somehow, right? Exposure is a big one. Learn to be a better speaker. Part of our Rainmakers is teach you to become a better speaker, right? Teach you how to deliver your 2-minute talk, your 5-minute talk, your 20-minute talk. Learn to get paid to speak. Learn to begin to do things online. Once again, get a YouTube channel set up, get a Twitch channel set up, begin to leverage Eventbrite, begin to leverage other speaking gigs. Make sure that you own your message. When people ask you what you do, you tell them who you are, you tell them what you do for them. They don't care what you do. They care what you do for them. They have a certain station they all listen to called WIIFM, What's in It for Me? And they want to make sure that within 10 seconds or less, we empower entrepreneurs all over the world to create even more success. That's it. That's what they care about. What are you going to do for them? And if you can't communicate that in 7 to 10 seconds, they're going to buy it somewhere else. So don't be lazy with your marketing. Don't be lazy with your message. Begin to realize the exposure side is out there. If you want to speak to millionaires, write this website down. It's called Vistage. Want to speak to entrepreneurs? BNIs, Rotaries, Latibs, Chambers, civic groups, ethnic groups. Go on Eventbrite, any city you want to speak in over the next 6 months, and begin to talk to the people that run the events. Send them a very simple message. Sponsor and speak at your next event. See, what most people do is they're not willing to put their money where their mouth is when it comes to their message, their story, their brand, and their products. They want to try to skate. There's no skating in success. Does that make sense? You'll get into the flow as you start to get momentum behind you. But until that time, you grind. You grind, you work, you wake up early, you go to bed late because you need to get your brand out to the world. If you think that Mark Victor Hansen or Richard Branson's going to come over to your house and say, hey, can I help you promote your products and services? You're in fantasy land. What I've learned for doing this for so long is that you got to be on the offense with your marketing. You got to be on the offense with your exposure. Go talk at events like this. If anybody invites you to events where it's great people doing great work, oh, well, I can't do that. Listen, how much do I get paid? Well, is it more important you get your story out there, more important you get paid? See, I'm going to tell you today as a promoter, as someone that runs events, as someone that's built companies around the world, that you got to be on the offense with your story. Why do the biggest CEOs in the world go to Davos each year? They get incredible press. They get incredible marketing opportunities. They meet so many good people. Continue each month to put yourself in the right room. And to me, that's where the secret's at. Are you putting yourself in the right room with the right audience on a regular basis? And I told you, get your book marketing done. If anybody here wants a copy of my book, The Obvious, I'll actually send you a digital copy today. Just text the word win. Text the word win to 26786. You'll get the gift. You'll get our newsletter. You'll get information about our courses and our programs. And if something resonates with you, that's great. Just text the word win or text easy way to 55678, either one, or win to 26786. But do me the biggest favor ever is that go after your biggest success story. And if it doesn't work, who cares? Guys, I have failed so many times. I've had plenty of ups and downs. That's part of being an entrepreneur. I know you're a little crazy. We're all a little crazy. That's what being an entrepreneur is. I know if your family thinks you're nuts, you're probably on the right path. If things aren't perfect right now, don't worry about it. We launched something new called 7-Figure Club, right? It's called our 007 group, right? And it's only 007 because that's our opt-in for the text, but we built it as to say $1 million business with an EBITDA is only a couple $100,000 a year net. That's with a 20% EBITDA for a business, and that's pretty strong. So begin to think about this, right? That if you're going to go into business, then get after it, and don't be lazy with your goals and your dreams. Get around good people doing good things. Get as much exposure as you can by sharing content they can use right now. When it comes to execution, it's pretty simple, right? The last part is probably the toughest part. It's by far the toughest part is the execution tab, right? It's where it's going to make you or break you. I tell people you can dream it, you can plan it, but then you got to execute. And the execute starts early, starts every day. Get up early, go to bed late. And the execution tab, begin to schedule out what does your org chart for your company look like when you're at full throttle? Who do you need to run that business, and draw it out in advance? Schedule your entire year in advance of what events are going on. Schedule your entire year in advance of family, faith, and fun. Family, faith, and fun. And make those the priority from day one. And then figure out what charity you want to be a part of. Every person that goes through our courses and programs, we ask you to sit on a charitable board. Could be an advisory board, marketing board, give back. I don't care. But I'm telling you, the greatest relationships for business will come through charitable contribution. If you're more involved with charitable contribution, you're going to meet more of the right people that are vibing on a very similar energy. Einstein said it best. He said, like energy attracts. Get yourself around people doing epic things. You hang out with broke people, you'll be broke. You hang out with negative people, you'll become negative. I put a post on the other day on my social media that said, life is short. So make zero time for drama creators. There are so many drama creators out there, right? And you got to raise above the noise. You want to win big in life and business, raise above the noise. Get above the clouds. Get above all the choppiness, right? The execution part of the story says if you're not willing to step into your greatness, you're going to live somebody else's. If you're not willing to step into your path and purpose and design a vision so big that it scares you, you're going to live somebody else's plan. And I don't think that's what life's about. I think life's about living. I tell people all the time, you only start dying the minute you stop living. So don't give up on that. Make it a goal. One of my goals this year is see one country a month. Go to one new country a month. Whatever your goals are, make them fun, make them challenging, but write down goals that connect with your vision. The vision's where you're going. The mission's how you get there. The goals simply keep you in alignment. And we help you with all that stuff. Because what I found out is if you were looking for massive success and it hasn't happened so far, don't fall into that definition of insanity. Keep doing the same thing over and over and expect a different result. I'm telling you, start today. Start today with a better plan, a better system, better teams. Get plugged into some great networks and go to work. Put your head down. You don't have to speak very loud when you have great results. All the action, all the results do all the talking. But in the execution side, it's also build that plan, go to market, have a good go-to-market strategy, get capital in place. Make sure you've got those things so you're prepared to win in life and win in business. And there's no doubt that whether it's our events or whether it's connections or things we can help you with, I'm glad to help. There's nothing greater in life than watching your kids become your success stories. My son Austin is now 31, my business partner in multiple ventures. My daughter Marissa is a PA in dermatology here in Chicago. My youngest son Evan, he produces beats and works on our tech team for our SaaS product Mobex. And I'll tell you this, right? When you can have that in life, you've lived an extraordinary life. But it's also so empowering to watch individuals you've served go out there and knock it out of the park. It's a great feeling in life to watch the ripple effect of customers you've served. And I think that should be part of your execution model, right? Is that, Focus on people that are serious about focusing on helping themselves become better at what you do. And you're going to find that your job is to learn to speak to the converted. If people don't get your message, don't understand where you're going, that's okay. Maybe they're not ready for it. But I would tell you this today, don't quit. Don't ever quit. Go after your biggest goals and dreams. And, and the funny part about this is that you start getting the right people around you, start having the right offers, the right programs, start having the right exposure, you become unstoppable. A rainmaker is nothing more than an intuitive performer that operates from a place of being unconsciously competent at what they do, combined with quantum productivity. And if that resonates with you, if you like the idea of more leads, more sales, more profits, you'll love our network. If you want someone to coddle you, make you feel good, I'm not that kind of a coach, guys. There's a lot of nice coaches out there. I'm a tough business coach that'll tell you what you need to hear, not what you always want to hear. And I love that. I don't walk back from that. I walk forward because I know for a fact that if you give people the truth and the reality of what it takes to launch, grow, and build a better business, and they take ownership and watch them execute, they're going to knock it out of the park. So I hope that my 30 minutes today gave you some good insights, some good wisdom, gave you some ideas of things you can use and tools you can use right now. And of course, get a copy of the book. Just text WIN to 26786. You can find all of my information, BillWalsh360.com, or on the Easy Way wall and all the stuff they've got cooking. But I just want to say thanks for having me a part of the Week of Kindness. Make sure you give back. Make sure that social impact is part of the fabric of your life and your business, and you'll see the greatest returns ever. So with that, I'll turn it back to you guys, and I hope this 25 minutes was helpful.
Oh my gosh, I was not
Bill,
expecting to be up
25
high.
minutes with you is like an hour for anybody else.
Yes.
No, and Lisa, do you now know why? I mean, it's the value that he brings every time you talk, and you do it by, offering stuff like PLRB, which is just the insider secret to how to get quick lead magnets and things like that.
Because at the end of the day, guys, it works, right? And that's the fun part about it, right? I'm not telling you it's easy, but it's possible.
No, and it's so true. Now, let me ask you one thing, if it's okay. Lisa, how much time do we have, first of all?
We have about 15, 20 minutes. We're doing good on time.
Oh, I love it. So, Bill, I call them the 3 stages of speaking. There's the emerging speakers.
Yep.
The ones that are getting started, don't have clarity. Everybody says that. I don't have clarity. I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know who my avatar is. I don't know who am I selling to. And then there's the experienced that kind of have their stuff together, but they still, don't have a 30-minute recording or an EPK or a speaker bio, because they don't know how to go out and find gigs yet. And then number 3, you've got the experienced pros, which are everything set up, and they've got a couple of recordings, they've got a couple of talks on the repertoire, and then you've got the experts like yourself. So when someone moves from one channel to the next, they have to have a certain amount of things done, right? So that you can check it off on your list. But the crazy part between emerging and experience is what you were talking about. You've got to have your systems in place.
100%.
You've got to have your teams in place, because Eric started off this conversation by, when you have 217 clients, you kind of have to know how you're going to handle them with the magic word called fulfillment. So give us your thoughts.
I think the big thing, guys, is once again is that, so often we get caught up in trying to make things perfect. You can launch a digital product today. You can go to Eventbrite. You can create a link to your broadcast next week that you're going to talk 30 minutes on how to become a better mom, how to be a better gardener, how to be a better how-to videos are where it's at on YouTube, right? So anything how-to gets lots of traction, right? You can literally create a how-to for anything you want. And the minute you create that how-to, and it's going to be next. So how to build a $10,000 a month income working from home, if that's what you're an expert in, or how to build an online empire through Instagram marketing. Yeah. Perfect. If you're great at that, perfect. So that becomes your talk for next week on Eventbrite, right? You load it up on Eventbrite, you team up with Zoom, because now all you got to do is going to be a digital event you can broadcast right from your home. Eventbrite can do all the marketing for you, believe it or not. Zoom can run the actual channel and record the entire process. Now, once you set it up on Zoom, you can market to Eventbrite list. You can market to Facebook. You can market on LinkedIn. all through your Eventbrite back office, which is all free. People keep telling me what they can't do. I'm telling you what you can do. Now, once you've got the recording of that and you do your 30-minute presentation, always make it simple. Tell them your story, give them real active tips that work, and tell them how to start with you. Tell them what's included in your program. Tell them the price right up front. I get sick and tired of these speakers. We're not going to sell you anything. And they say something at the end. Listen, tell them exactly what it is up front. Don't be shy that you're going to sell something, right? Don't be shy that you have something that can certainly help those individuals. And if they're not ready for it, that's fine. Don't worry about it. But give them good content they can use. So if they never, ever buy from you, that's fine. You still gave them great stuff. Now, within the Eventbrite, you can create another Eventbrite. Another Eventbrite can be your back-end course. Believe it or not, you can take them from the Eventbrite that you do, give them a link to the Eventbrite where they can take your order right there on the spot for your 12-week program. Your 12-week program can be every week for 30 minutes. You give good content. You record that content through 30 minutes of FAQ of questions and answers, and that becomes a product box. But over the 12 weeks, you can create a course, sell it for $500, $1,000, $1,500. Who cares what it is? If you serve 20 clients at $1,000, that's an extra 20 grand a quarter. People keep telling me what they can't do. I'm telling you what you can do. If you got a Facebook account, believe it or not, Eventbrite can access your Facebook account and invite all of your friends to your broadcast. And if they don't want to come, don't want to participate, then get rid of them. They're not your old friends anyway. Does that make sense? You can target city by city. You can say, this week I'll be in LA digitally. I'll be in San Francisco digitally. I'll be in Chicago digitally. And you can invite everyone that's on your fan base, everyone that's a friend of yours in Chicago, all for free.
Mm-hmm.
The Eventbrite never starts running. And then once you've done this, right, you can take the orders, you can take those recordings, create a digital product, and sell it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on somewhere like JVZoo. Now, how much did you spend on all this? You spent less than $100. Maybe use Upwork, get some cool graphics, right? But listen, guys, if you're great at something, I don't care if 10 people sign up. If 10 people sign up for your program, your 12-week program, that's 10 grand for the quarter. It took you 1 hour a week. It means you're getting paid roughly $800 an hour. I don't know many jobs that offer you $800 an hour.
No. Exactly.
But I tell my students, my clients all the time.
What's that?
I'm so sorry. I tell my students and my clients all the time, perfection is the enemy of progress. If you wait for you to have everything in place and for everything to look perfect, like you think it needs to look perfect, you will never progress. You'll never start. It will always be a failure to launch. I think most people don't understand that we all started the same way. Right. We did not have everything set up the day that we actually launched our first program. You know,
just tell people you always listen, you shoot for perfection, you settle for excellence.
Absolutely.
I mean, we teach this, guys, at our Icon program in a whole day how to launch your digital product, and you're off to the races. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, if you don't sell digital products, if you're not creating products of your great inspiring wisdom, you think you're cheating yourself. You're cheating all those customers.
That's true.
Yeah. Because we're here to serve. And that's what I think that a lot of people, they get this weird feeling about, well, I shouldn't be charging for this, or I shouldn't be doing this, or whatever.
Well, then, you're try here to call Harvard. Serve. Try to call Harvard and say, I want to go for free.
Good luck.
I want to go to your doctorate program. For it.
Bill, what has been your favorite? I mean, I know you were in Secret, the movie, and all this kind of stuff. What's been your favorite experience you've been doing this for a long time. Can you pinpoint a best conference, a best convention, a best stage?
You know what? I've been really honored to speak on stages with 10 people and 25,000 people, right? Yeah. One of the greatest things is when you're walking through an airport or you're at Coachella and someone walks up and you understand that you may not remember who I am, but you changed my life. 10 years ago, I went through your program and it changed my life, and I've created this, or this has happened. And, to me, that's one of the greatest things in your life, is that when your work can really impact someone, you made such an impactful difference in their life, and they don't forget that. And randomly you get approached by this stuff, or I get emails and I get text messages and I get Facebook posts that says, you know what, you don't realize this, but 9 years ago or 15 years ago, I went through your program, and when you see people that you've coached or trained, like, a friend of mine, Sherry Tree, she speaks all over the world, right? Well, I remember when she sat at the Aria and she said, Bill, I need help because this isn't working, right? She went through our platinum program. We got her on stages in LA and and then through a group called Peak Potential and Success Resources, she began to speak all over the world. Now she met her wife through those programs, right? Now they have a child together. I mean, these are the things that, once again, you can't put a price tag on the, what I call the work that you've done, the ripple effect of your work in the world. And it is one of the greatest feelings ever.
I totally concur. Absolutely. I went to visit, well, I shouldn't say it, but I'm at the 50th anniversary of our high school reunion coming up here.
Wow.
Yeah.
Me too.
So, you too. But I went down to visit in the Rio Grande Valley down in South Texas, not Houston, but 5.5 hours south of Houston, right? And I was sitting at a restaurant, and this young man comes over and he goes, "You're Tony Kaufman?" And I said, "Yes." And he says, "You're the casting director and the producer." And I'm like, "Yes." He's like, "I've got to call somebody. I've got to call somebody."
That's so cool. See?
You're right. It was just wonderful. So this changed people's lives, Guy. If we don't learn anything else out of the last 30 minutes, it's do what you can to bring value. Bring it with all your heart. Change people's lives without intentionally trying to do it by grabbing onto them, but by inspiring them. So I think that's what I've learned today, Bill. Thank you.
Yeah, listen, if you don't show up for your success story, you're going to live somebody else's.
Oh, that's a sad existence. That really is. I coulda, woulda, shoulda, right?
That's very true.
Oh.
I don't think that we recognize in our lifetime what you've learned in your life is going to help somebody else, because there's always going to be somebody else that could have value, or that is going to learn and going to elevate because you shared your story and you shared yourself authentically. That's all that we're doing here. We're just sharing our journeys with others and then helping more to succeed in every area of life. And I think that's the main reason why we do what we do.
Well, I mean, look at the work you guys are doing today, right? You're featuring so many people's stories and sharing it and getting the message out there that they may not ever have this chance on their own. So, thanks to the work you guys are doing, Eric and the whole team that's made this possible.
Bill, as the owner and producer of the Speakers Bureau, we value our emerging speakers, because that's kind of why I set up the Speakers Bureau, because I wanted them to have a place where they could come, not only get the training, but also be able to say, I'm represented by someone.
Yeah.
But let me ask you something. What do you recommend for the emerging speakers who want to go into the paid stages, finding the conferences, the conventions, etc.? What do you recommend as their next logical step?
So, I mean, obviously having an agent is always a plus. Having someone like you that can help promote them, get their story out there, message them properly, that's powerful. The other thing I recommend is go to Eventbrite. Look for cool events, right? And it's so simple to get booked on speaking stages. If you'll find good stages, they have more than 500 followers, they've been doing it for more than 2 years, and you think it's a great event, or if people send you invites for events. If you ever get invited to go to an event, the easiest way to get booked on that stage is go find who runs the event, send them a quick message, or have your staff send a quick message. And all it has to say in the actual subject line is sponsor and speak at your event. That's all it has to say. And they will call you within 24 hours. Now realize this, you might say, well, Bill, I don't want to pay to be on stages. Okay, then don't. But you're going to realize this, that one stage can bring you 10 stages. Why do I speak at Harvard for free? Because it opens up so many doors. You go on YouTube, type in Bill Walsh and Harvard University. They play and this isn't at Harvard Yard or speaking at some Harvard hotel they booked, right? This is actually the university shot the video and then promoted it. So that promotion is worth its weight in gold when you start to realize that, most people go through their whole life, they'll never speak at Harvard. They'll never have these opportunities. So when you have the opportunity, show up for the opportunities. But the thing about this is every time you speak somewhere, you can even do like today, right? If you're going to be speaking on this thing, go grab a screenshot. Go grab a screenshot and then share that. Hey, it was an honor to speak at this event. See, when you promote other promoters, then other people realize that you're a down-to-earth person. They love to have you speak and be part of some things they're doing. But make no mistake that one stage can bring you 10.
I love it.
I had to pop in when I heard that. I just got off my phone call, and I'm like, when you promote others, you get promoted. Like, I feel like I'm watching myself in the mirror. I love it.
Yeah, I had the pleasure this last year, Bill, for the first time of speaking at Texas A&M University, and they wanted to help a group of young women. It was a sorority, which are now called fraternities, apparently. But there must have been 100 young women in the room, and the whole talk was about the no value of being an influencer in some of the YouTube's communities, where all they're talking about is your big booty, or your how many wrinkles you've got. It's like, who cares? The real value is right here, and it's right here, and it's what you anyway. So that's what my whole talk was about. But I absolutely concur. I had the best time. And it was during the snowpocalypse of Texas, so it took me like 5 hours to drive, 80 miles.
That was some really dangerous driving. I actually flew in 2 days after that, so I know how crazy it is. But guys, here's the bottom. If you're a speaker, if you're an author, if you're a coach, if you're an expert in anything, bring your voice to market. You know what? Learn to have good conversations. I was scheduled for an interview today. I thought it was an interview, but it doesn't matter. I don't care. I don't need notes or programs. Just know your stuff. Know your content, live in your space, right? And don't speak about things you don't know, because that'll get really tough.
Well, I do apologize. I was having so much fun listening. I'm not used to you being interviewed. I'm used to you just delivering value all the time.
No problem. Yeah, no problem.
Eric, so by the way, Bill, this has been an experience, because Dr. Lisa and Eric have got my show, which used to be run like a TV show, which is just pre-recorded, and then we run it, play and play, into this 3-way split of live television. So between YouTube, Easy Way, Heart of Inspiration, Standout Stars, and then the recordings on Event Raptor, I'm like sitting here going, Lisa, can we do this? So,
you guys should also look into, just so you know, we have a really high-level empowerment retreat for women, and it comes up in April down in Mexico. If you just text the word retreat to 26786, it's an invitation event. Text the word retreat to 26786. The tickets online are like $3,400 a ticket. But if you guys want to do it, we actually have a special, and you can use the code POWER TEAM. You can actually go for like $1,500 for 2 people. And it includes all your food and your hotels and the event. It's unbelievable. It's at the Beach Playa Resort. It's a 5-star resort. And we do this as a give back to women entrepreneurs. So it's really a cool retreat, April 20 to 23. We don't have a lot of people. I know it's less than 100 attendees, but Tony and Dr. Lisa, I think this would be something you guys would love to be a part of. If it's something you guys can get away those dates. Eric, sorry, buddy, it's women only, but
I'll wear a wig. I can't go. Oh,
yeah, no, it's like, you can go, but you'll be sitting in the pool with me, right? So yeah, it's
what city is that?
But it's going to be a really cool event. We did it a couple of years ago, and we brought it back. We just think that this is the perfect time to inspire and empower. There's so many women speakers out there that need more stages, that need more opportunities, and we're going to focus on some of those things to help them do that. And literally be able to book webinars and telesummits while they're there, so it's kind of a fun event. Like I said, the tickets online are $3,500 a ticket. It is 2-person to a room, obviously. And if they decide to come, if you have someone else you want to go with, it's like seven. It's really inexpensive. It's maybe $1,500 or something like that for 2, not like $7,000 for 2. And it doesn't include
Playa del Carmen. Where
it's in Playa del Carmen? Yeah, it's at the
Cancun. Okay, all right.
Yeah, so you fly into Cancun, but once you're there at the hotel, all your food, all your drinks, and the events all included.
Yeah.
For the weekend,
all
so it's 4 days, 3 nights. It's pretty cool.
I love it. What days in April?
It's April 20 to 23. So
all right.
It starts at 5 o'clock on Thursday with a welcome party and dinner, and then it finishes on Sunday.
Bill, we'll have to get my team with your team. We have an events calendar now, and pretty much all 5,000 members are all putting their events on the calendar.
Yep.
We have no shortage of calendar. I mean, if you see our event calendar, I think in February.
No, this is a members event calendar. It's specifically catered to promote our members. So we'll get it on.
Cool.
Yeah, we're growing it daily, so that's really good. Bill, thank you so much again.
Guys, I got to run. I appreciate you guys a whole lot. And I think this was a lot of fun. What a great group to hang out with for an hour.
Appreciate it. Do me a favor really quick, man. I'm going to take us out. Can you just say thank you to the Week of Kindness stage and give a little shout out? Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Hey, everyone. Bill Walsh, Power Team International. A huge thanks to the weekofkindness.com group and the stage. What an awesome event to be a part of. And if you're not part of this group, make sure you are for the next one, because you missed some great stuff on this one. But once again, Bill Walsh, Power Team International.
Wow. I hope you enjoyed that just as much as I did. Thank you so much for all of that great information. Hey, we're not done yet, so just relax. We're going to continue on with our next speaker in just a few moments.